Hello, everyone. So today I'm here with Phoenix once again. Welcome back to the channel, Phoenix. And
Thank you.
today we're going to talk about the rite of deification or self-deification. Along those lines, he's gonna describe to us what it is, what it means, and a few tips on how to do it. So go ahead, Phoenix. As far as these topics go, just take it away.
Okay, so for the rite of deification, depending on which one you do, I've only studied the one J.S. Garrett wrote. You have to work together with someone. Someone evokes your spirit from your body, whether you're sleeping, laying down, or whatever, into a fire, and they give you a blood sacrifice to deify you, and then they command your spirit to take that energy back to your body to enhance you overall, along with some certain things, or just some certain things. Now, also, I've been told the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram, is a way in a ritual space to set yourself as the deified one. You connect with that divine light above your head, and in that moment, that space, you've created yourself as God or as the source, whatever you want to call it. And so, as far as that goes, I would say it definitely works in a sense, and it is some powerful stuff. Now, for the rite of deification, I actually underwent that, and that was interesting. It really was. I've noticed my rituals get more powerful after that. I think it is possible. I don't think this will make you literally into a spirit transcended above this earth or whatever. I think it makes you more so as a deified being in this realm.
Do you feel like it starts the process as far as like maybe that's the first step to becoming basically becoming a god, or do you feel like it's not really related to what people think it is? Like, is it a first step along your magical journey in that realm of self deification?
It doesn't have to be. I think that my personal belief is we are all made in the source, God, creator's image, whatever, and we are his energy or hers, or I don't think it really has a gender. I just say his because that's what I was raised to say. But we are that essence, and we kind of got to come to realize that through meditation and spiritual practices, and we create our reality with our thoughts and the law of attraction.
So
Now,
you're
I think
basically bringing it out from what already exists within you. You're bringing it to the forefront, basically.
right, right. And with this, people have been said to have struggled with opiates and had this done and have no withdrawals. Some people say they can go off of 4 hours of sleep. I haven't tried that yet, but instead of getting one blood sacrifice, I was given three. So it might take some time to fully come into existence, manifest, whatever you want to call it. I can actually send you pictures from my ride if you want to throw those up.
Sure.
And
Sure,
within the flame, I can actually see my face in some places. And she also gave blood sacrifices to my gods, my
when
patrons.
you say blood sacrifice, do you mean her blood, or do you mean the blood of something else, or like specific
We
blood?
had two chickens, and we had talked previously about a snake or a lizard or something related to my zodiac sign, Scorpio, because it has many animal forms. And she
Yeah.
found a lizard while setting up, so she threw that in the fire as well. So we gave blood to my two patrons, and from there, I've actually been able to make contact with them easier now. So after that, actually during the process, let me get to that first. I had in crazy visuals, and I had thought this was the night before. This actually happened a week ago to this day. But the night before, Monday of last week, I thought it was happening. I took some mugwort tea to help me enter the astral plane. It didn't happen. Excuse me. I had some visuals, but not like I underwent it. When I underwent it, I saw all kinds of stuff from a snake, and another snake was passing through its mouth, not going the back, and then it bit down on that. I saw a
When
schoolroom.
you say you saw, did you see it in the flame? Did you see it within your mind's eye,
I
or how?
saw it within behind my closed eyelids, and it was so real. It was as if I was there or within a dream. And the whole time I felt like I was still in my body, but I was out. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like psychedelics or some spiritual experiences. You have to really experience it to know it. But I was in my body, but I wasn't, if that makes sense. And then I saw this schoolroom, some desk, and this door opened, and this possessed girl looking thing like the movies
Mhm.
appeared. And I heard some sounds, I'm not sure what show it is, but the trailer has this voice like, I have to kill you, da 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 da. I saw that with the music, and the snake ate me. Then I saw the fire. Maybe consciously I wanted to see that, but I would see the fire, not see it. I saw beings take me to the fire, was seeing it off and on.
What do you think the snake represents? Is it something that you have identified as far as what it represents, or is it something that you're still trying to understand?
It's something I'm still trying to understand. I've had dreams since I was very young, and I grew up very Christian, of snakes, scorpions, spiders, and birds. I come to find out Scorpio, my zodiac sign, is symbolized by those things, so that could be part of it.
Mine
But I
too.
think when
I've actually had dreams like that as well, and I'm also a Scorpio, so that makes a lot of sense. It's very strange how you get this connection to these spiritual entities, really the spirit of these animals, not necessarily the animals themselves. So you get these natures that are kind of thrown at you in these dreams and through this alignment that you start to think, okay, how do their spirits relate to mine? But anyway, go ahead with what you're saying.
yeah, so I think that when the snake ate me, along with that, I have to kill. I'll have to find the show. It's an ad on Hulu and all that stuff. I think it really symbolized death and rebirth because when the snake bit me, it's like it swallowed me. And around that time, I saw the fire. A separate time after that, I felt like I was in and out, but at the same time in the fire, out of my body, but in. Really hard to explain like a mushroom trip unless you experience it. So, with that being said, I think it kind of symbolized death and rebirth and Kundalini in a sense. And after that, the next day, I don't think it fully manifested. I think it's still fully manifesting. But afterwards, my ADD to some degree has calmed down. I'm more focused and I look around more and take way more in. Um, I still need the 8 hours sleep. That's something I still need, definitely. But I haven't got to the point where I need 4 hours sleep like people report. I don't always have this high functioning energy like other people
So you
report.
feel like your senses are kind of opened and you can actually observe more than you did before?
Yeah, and like with the candle magic I've been doing, um, and the spirits I'm making contact with afterwards, it's like a deeper level. And I don't remember his name. You can throw it up. He reported the same thing. He reported the possessed girl he saw. So I definitely think it's enhanced my abilities. I think that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, the possessed girl thing makes me think of something in Obai, which is the kind of Jamaican form of voodoo, and the Anima Sola Abyssina Clarissa, basically the lonely soul Abyssina Clarissa, which is it's this being that I've worked with before that is kind of a manifestation of suffering and sadness, but also allows you to understand that within yourself and allows you to really work with that energy and transform it into something else. So like the idea of this possessed girl, this so-called damned soul, or this soul that really uses suffering to transform it into something else and really teaches you how to do that, especially when it aligned with the different planets, the different months. There's a lot of correlation between what you're talking about and that being, as well as what I've heard from other people, and this idea of this young woman who is at this threshold between who you were and who you're becoming, and allows you to use that suffering. But does that sound like something that makes sense as far as what you experienced?
Yeah, I'd say so. Um, I think she might be in charge of the rite itself. I don't know if it's Astarte or not. I work with Astarte a lot more now. I think she's definitely in charge of the rite since more than one person has reported it as
And so,
well. But I definitely think it does have to do with that because I saw her before I saw the flames, which would make sense.
yeah.
I did
So go ahead.
I did see a dog. This other guy, I can't remember his name. I'll throw it to you over text when we get off here, but he reported seeing a dog with red eyes. I didn't see it turned into an Egyptian thing, but I saw a lot of the same visuals. So I think when they clear the path in this ritual, they I do think they are there to clear the path. I think that's essentially what it is. I think they're kind of in charge of that.
You might want to look up the supernatural encounters with dogmen. This is something I didn't really believe in until I started looking into all the different accounts of like this idea of dogmen, and I found that it's not always Egyptian. It's a lot of the time these myths form near people who aren't drinking, aren't doing any drugs or anything like that, or aren't even spiritual. and they find that they see these kind of dogmen, and when they look into the face of these dogmen, they feel like these dogmen are looking through them, like they are the guardians of the threshold between the planes, between the realms. And there's been so many thousands of accounts of these dogmen, and a lot of people do think it's connected to Egyptian, but really it's these guardians of the barriers. And when we think of the dog, we think of like a protector or guardian, what they are to human beings. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're just dogs in this realm. There are higher forms of dog spirit, I guess you can say, that kind of protect the area between realms, and you have to go through them. You have to be judged kind of by them. You have to really be okay with them before you can traverse that plane between this plane and another plane. So you might want to look that up.
I definitely
very
will.
Strange. It's very strange because the encounters of dogmen are not by people who are spiritual, the vast majority, and they're not by people who do drugs or drink or anything like that. So like it feels, and they don't really know what they're seeing. They don't really understand what they're seeing. So when they have these encounters, they don't know what to make of it. But then once you realize that, okay, maybe they guard between the planes, and you listen to some of the details about these dogmen, you start to realize, okay, maybe they are the guardians between the realms. But yeah, I definitely looked that up. But anyway, just go ahead with the deification ritual.
But yeah, as for that, I think that's pretty much it. Um, I think it can work in a sense. I don't think it, like I said, helps you transcend this plane. You know what I mean? I do think it is something worth looking into. And when I first heard about it, I was still getting out of that very Christian mind state and still new to this kind of stuff I was brought up in. And I considered it, but I was kind of like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever do that. And a bunch of other stuff I said I'd never do, but I ended up more so getting away from that almost entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And I underwent it. And I think if you're ready, I don't think you can ever be fully ready, but when you're ready, it's definitely worth, whether it's this or some other self-deification ritual, worth doing because it helps you realize you are the creator of your own universe. You are the master.
You basically bring forth the reality you want to be around.
Yes.
You bring forth the person that you want to be in relation to reality. So it takes a lot of magical focus to basically become a deity. And I don't think that it's as easy as becoming a living God in one lifetime. I think that it takes a lot of effort, and perhaps we have to pass on to another plane and come back here, or maybe there's an exchange of energy, what have you. But it's something that there are references in Hinduism as far as Hindu alchemy, and being able to transmute your body itself and your spirit and your mind through certain rituals to where you come out of it and you can walk into the gates of so-called swarg, heaven, with the body that you have. And it's all in reference to the idea of becoming a god on this plane. But it takes a transmutation of not just your body, though that's definitely required. It's a transmutation of your spirit itself, and that's very difficult.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can do through one ritual. It's not something that you can do after just reading a little bit and then doing it. It's really a life position that you have to take up and then transform yourself over your life. And if you're attached to different material, gains, whether it be different addictions like I have myself, or different egoic ideas of yourself, then it's much harder to become something more than that which you are attached in this realm. So, like, are there any other magical rituals that you think attribute to deification or anything like that? Do you think there's any other rituals that really help with this?
I think there are. There aren't any that I've found other than the lesser of the pentagram, lesser banishing, like I mentioned before. I think the lesser of the hexagram might do the same thing. I'm still studying that a bit, but haven't fully learned that. But I think there are other ones out there. I just haven't found them. I'm sure secret societies all over have these that we haven't found yet.
Yeah, there's, everybody uses the idea of the Masons, but I think the vast majority of Masons don't really practice anything magical. It's just an organization. But there are other organizations that really aid your ascension. But I think that it's kind of an exception to the rule rather than the rule, because I think most occult organizations are very much concerned with just making money, but there are a few who are very much concerned with your ascension. So I mean, we have to be careful. We have to really decide if we're going to devote our time, money, and effort towards a certain organization. It has to be for our personal ascension when we're talking about the occult and magic. Is there any advice that you would have in just closing this particular video for anybody seeking to do the rite of self-deification or anything that you've learned?
I would do what I did. I would meditate on all my chakras if you're going to have this done and try and open them as best you can or unclog them or whatever. Balance, align, all the above before doing it. And something I wanted to say was when you were talking about letting go of this reality, it made me think of your crown chakra. What it's blocked by is your earthly attachments. So I think that in itself can also help, is working with your chakras, your 7 energy centers, as often as you can and detaching. Because this world's only temporary. It's a blinking of an eye within our entire existence of all eternity.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to transmute your chakras in a way and definitely at least align them so that the energy from the bottom of yourself comes to the higher form of yourself. And it's both spiritual, but it has this physical link to where you will start to feel these chakras open up in your physical body. But when you're rising Kundalini, if you will, and this is explained very metaphorically in the Mahabharata, you have to go through the trials of each chakra. And then once you go through these trials, you align that chakra. And then once you get to the crown chakra, if you get there in this lifetime, you are no longer attached to every other negative side of each chakra. And you are no longer attached to material that most people are attached to in this world. So it is a process that we have to constantly, work at and go through. It's not something we can put down. It has to be something that you focus on, every hour. At least a few times an hour every day. You don't have to sit down in meditation every hour, but you have to feel your chakras. You have to align them, at least, focus on them a little bit every hour of every day when you're awake. And once you start to align these chakras, you will need less sleep because your mind doesn't need to recharge because you're getting that recharge from your Kundalini energy, your prana, basically.
Right.
But anyway, I'll go ahead and close this video. We'll keep on talking after this video, of course. But thank you very much, Phoenix, for being on this video. I hope to see you on the channel in the future. And anybody who is interested in any of this, feel free to shoot down questions or comments in the comment section below. And I hope to see all of you on my channel in the future.